Peace to everybody. Peace to the gods and the earths. We here another day, another episode of PREME'S Podium, episode 11. 11 representation of the episode being knowledge. And as far as today is November 17th, which makes today's mathematics, knowledge, God, all being born to build or destroy. Interesting way these mathematics work, and everything that's kind of happened to me today has been a clear depiction of what the science says that the day would manifest. So, for those that have been here from the beginning of the journey, you know that what I'm tapping into is something new for me. And though it's new, it's been extremely enlightening for me as well. So, now that we got that out the way, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Word of mouth still works out here. You see what I'm saying? So let's make sure we utilize being able to speak and use our words wisely and be able to spread this good building we do on this channel and this platform here. And for our new people who do not understand the meaning of the show, a podium is an elevated place where you can speak, let your voice be heard. So the whole purpose of PREME'S Podium, he is I and I is he, I am King Preme. You hear me? And, I felt like along my journey of life that I've been able to meet a lot of dope people. I've been able to meet a lot of people that, have impacted my life more positive than negative to give credit to. And I like sharing these stories and being able to build and add on with these people, not only in the past life, but to bring it forth to the new life and let it be born to something that you guys can see now that the cameras are on. So this is the platform for anybody, male, female, to be able to speak and give their truth, give their life, give their nostalgic moments, let their voices be heard. And a lot of people know I deal with athletes and stuff like that. And unfortunately, everyone isn't going to be able to make it to that platform of being able to speak on ESPN and FS1 and other podcasts or whatever, right? And I'm never going to be the person to make anyone that I've encountered that has been something positive to my life not be worthy of an interview and or have them feel like just because they didn't make it to that level that they don't deserve an interview. So you who? Oh, my bad, that's the queen. But or for them to feel like their voice isn't willing to be heard. So old, young, whatever, we want to give people that platform to be able to let their voice be heard. And without further ado, today we have a returning guest, reappearing guest, two-time guest at this point, and hopefully it definitely won't be the last, and y'all can see him plenty more times. So this is my guy. He really don't have to reintroduce himself. You see what I'm saying? Coach Dave, right? We weren't able to cover a lot of topics. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot, but some topics the first go round, and my guy enjoyed his time with the young God and was willing to come back. So we here to go ahead and bless y'all with the knowledge and the testimony of a lot of these wonderful kids. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into it. Coach, you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
My man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what? I ain't gonna make him the butt in the joke, man. Matter of fact, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Stop wearing dark colors when you come on here, man. The shit be looking like
you want me to wear bright colors?
Dark shadow. Can you stop?
Nah, it's Yankee blue, baby.
Jesus.
Dog, you got black on.
Look, you see how the light is reflecting though? You see that? You see that different tone? You see how that?
You want some light?
You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
How's that?
I don't see a difference. I see no.
Hey, is this dark skin jokes already? Come on, dog.
Hey, man, that's my guy, man.
I've dealt with that my whole life.
Y'all know the vibes, man. I said I wasn't going to introduce him, but for the new viewers, for the people that didn't see the other episode, if you have not, please make sure y'all go and see that and the other interviews we have here on this platform, a PREME'S Podium. But go ahead and reintroduce yourself and tell the people where you from.
Dave, my name's Dave Thomas. I'm from Harlem. Been out here in Georgia since 06. So pretty good amount of time.
Okay. All right. So I chopped it up with my guy, right? And we was trying to figure out where exactly we was going to start with this whole thing, right? And proper preparation prevents poor performance. So I stayed ready with my handy dandy notes, y'all. So you got to scratch them as you go, right? You some things I got to, so I scratch them out, and some stuff I didn't get to, so I didn't scratch them out. And lo and behold, we have enough for today. So welcome, y'all. Thank you for building and adding on with us. So let's just go ahead and start. We're gonna kind of work in a backwards order today. We're gonna work in a backwards order and kind of address the stuff we didn't get to, and then we still gonna revert back to some stuff in childhood and all that other good stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Excel. Talk about that more in depth as it pertains to the special moments.
No, I mean, it was just a wonderful platform to be able to do what I love to do is just work with kids and not only just the kids, it was also like the parents who allowed me to love their kid the way I love my kid and allow me to be me, right? And some people on the outside who haven't been inside may see it different and may not know. But I always feel like when it's your kid, you love them harder, right? And there's certain things you won't tolerate from your kid. And I always took it as, hey, I'm teaching and the best I have is what I would do for my own kid. So if I provide that to everyone else, I know I'm doing the best I can, and that's got to be enough. And it requires the parents and the kids as well, and it also requires success. Because with success, it's a little easier, right? And I'm real grateful to the parents who were there when we were losing. And those were tough times, and but those losses. While I'd never want to go through them, and I always could figure out a way. Hey, we can still learn the lessons by winning. We learned a lot from it, and I think those kids did, and I learned how to go through different situations with different age groups and be able to take them from point A to point B.
Now, a lot of kids that have been involved with the Georgia Excel program, they end up alluding to the fact that, that was some of the toughest as well as some of the most fun times of their life, at least athletically, I'll say. You know what I'm saying? What are some fond memories you can think of some particular individuals, if you don't mind naming a few that are those lifelong memories for you that bring you that same spark?
See, that's tough, man, because here's what in my mind, I don't want to forget a kid. So I've been, I can think of a bunch of kids, and I don't want to forget them, and I guess we'll be able to name a few and stuff like that. But as far as memories, it's practicing in a hot gym, and I'll close the door, right? No fan, no outside air. We shut the door. And we would practice so hard that we had to switch sides because the floor would just be drenched in sweat. And did it make us better on the court? I'd like to think so, but it did make us better mentally, right? Because of the pressure we were under and just having to focus and fight through that and knowing you did it, right? And the way you sell it to them. And then when they're in those moments where they got to dig deep, I would always remind them, this is why we did it. They didn't do it. So, and that gives you a mental edge, I think. And other teams are using other edges as well, but that's the edge. Those were the edges and the things we had in our toolkit. So I always remember, I remember just constantly every week committing to training and development. And just all the folks who, when you see kids who couldn't run without tripping and falling, let alone dribbling or shooting, and you get them to be able to improve 50%. Now they might not score 30, but I can see where they've come from. So it's not always just who are the best players; it's the players who grew. And so I remember those things, and I did want to correct something you said last time about my boy Rashad.
Shout out to my boy Mac and Cheese. That's another interview.
I didn't come out.
Go back to my boy. Shout out to my boy Mac and Cheese. We here, baby.
Yeah, no doubt. I didn't necessarily go out recruiting him. I remember us working out in a park and it said, okay, I'll take him. And at the time, even in the moment and looking back, he was sort of the missing piece, right? I'm not saying he was the greatest player. He was the greatest fit at that time that allowed us to go from one step to another, right? And for years, people would, question me on him. But, when he was young, man, he was one of the smartest, little headiest players with no athletic ability, right? But, he knew how to make a pass. He knew how to fake a pass. He knew how to put it where it needed to go. He knew how to just be timely and clutch at times. So he was, a big part, and especially when, we needed guards and stuff and other people that could just play. And he fit in great. But I didn't go scouring, right? It was almost, it was a situation where, and this is, something I'm proud of, situation where kids not getting playing time, people don't understand what they have. And, what somebody else didn't want, I looked at it and thought it was beautiful and said, no, I could do something with this. And I think as coaches, you always think you could be the one. And the times when you're not, those are painful. When you can't change it and help a kid, those are really painful. More painful than it feels good when you are able to, because sometimes it's a thankless job. But you gotta, if you're doing it for the right reasons, you feel it when you see those kids.
I was just letting the people know you on a run. You on another one of the runs. Yeah.
I didn't know if that was a wrap it up new thing or what.
No, yeah. I was trying not to interrupt you, but I was letting the people know like he's on a run. You're on about a 10-0 run right now. Yeah. Man, you just said something, man. I'm about to ask another question, but just real quick to throw it in there for the people, man. We'll get to the deeper part of it, but there was a moment that this young guy was giving me the science on how the game worked, and he was telling me, like, Cam, you gotta stop being a fan. You gotta stop being a fan. Like, you have to coach. And he would put me in situations to where he would make me coach. And I don't mean coach with him alongside. Nah, he's sending me, for the people who's familiar with Georgia, he gonna send me to Decatur. Shout out to Mitch's. You see what I'm saying? He gonna send me up there to Decatur and Mitch's. And he ain't even gonna be there. He just gonna tell me what players I got, figure it out, work it out. And y'all, when I tell y'all I took some L's, I was up there getting my ass whooped. You hear me?
And at Mitch's, you ain't getting no call. You don't get any calls. And even if you do, I mean, in theory, it feels like you don't get any calls. You have to be on your game, not just because of the opponent, just the whether it's the officials, the people on and the stands who come just to see you and try to. Some people were coming to just see us and root against us, and it was. Some people may not like it, but I did. I thought it was good, especially when you can succeed in that environment. And people would be mad at me for going over there for years. Like, hey, why are we going back here? And I'm like, me and Mitch, Mitch would cuss me out. I'll say what I need to say to him, and his officials, and I'll storm out of there. And then we'll talk and just laugh about it, a few hours later. But for me, it was about, is it helping the kids? Adversity or whatever it is. And I think that, sometimes people move or they try to leave the adversity instead of using it as something to conquer. Right. And just asking, if I succeed at this, will I be better for it? Now if it's too easy, then let's move on. Let's find something where if you ain't on your game, you can lose. Or let's find something where you have to be on your game to win.
Now, let me ask you this, because luckily, I've been able to speak with two young guys that you end up teaching the game to, and they've been able to flourish to whatever levels that they've been able to. But what has been the hard part about, right? Because they're of you, so that may be a little easier to groom them. What's the hard part about being from an East Coast, New York, mecca of basketball, that type of place, and then move into a place like Georgia where it's about football and baseball, and knowing that you're a guy that kind of predicates his whole system on not only just the physical part of basketball and learn how the game goes, but you have like a weird mad scientist type thing to where you can get into people's heads and make them tougher. One, what is the skill in making people mentally tougher? Because some people say you can't do that. One, what is your skill in that? And two, what was that like, you seeing that clear-cut transition? Like, wow, kids down here are like, they're not basketball related people, they're more football, but you turn them into, or however it worked for you.
So I'll try to answer that last part first, and then if I forget, you just
Okay.
Sometimes you don't have to make people mentally tougher. You just have to make them think they are. Right? And so and give them a belief that that they can accomplish the goal that you're asking. Right? And again, having some success at it, right? It breeds it more. And then you can sell that message again. And then you ask for more.
That's tough. Don't let that go over your head.
But I also think too, I've always been told, the team should reflect the coach. And so I'd like to think if you played a team that I coach, you say they play hard and they play the right way. They might, they play tough, they play hard, and they know what they're doing, right? They're well coached. And so there's a way of thinking, I think, and I'm going based off of the coaches that I had, and how I was raised, and how I learned to play, and the games you had to play mentally, right? Because I go out in the park and there's adults. I'm not playing with kids, and I'm 12 or 13, 14 years old. And I want to get on the court. You got people talking crap to you. You might have people who, back then just got home for the summer, right? And and you're a kid, and I never forget. It was this one dude. The dude was like a bodybuilder, right? And I never forget him just elbowing me in my chest. And I had to take it. And I was like, from that, my reaction was, I gotta get tougher, because I'm gonna go back out there and play. And I'm not gonna back down to him. So I gotta be able to take it so that I can get it, right? And I remember, at that age, I was eating more boiled eggs. I tried to eat some more grits or stuff that would stick to your bones, right? It's not like I was going lifting weights or something. I was like, I gotta get bigger. I gotta eat more, and because I'm not gonna let this guy. I mean, and this was an adult, but still, he on the court, and so
we all the same age on the court. We all equal.
So you'd have, you go out there and you got adults running fulls, and you got 5 nexes, and I'm 13 or whatever, 14, 15, whatever, and I'm on the side, and I want to play. And there's no way you ain't gonna tell me I can play. And it's just a mentality. I didn't think I didn't fit. And there was no way you were gonna tell me that, and I was gonna entertain that. And there was times where people would try to take your necks and say, you can't play, right?
Time out, coach. Hold up, time out. Oh, I got my stuff for y'all. I'm prepared today, y'all. Hold up. Got what you looking for? Hold up, because that's a real thing. We got chop. Yeah, I don't want to be too loud because I don't know where my baby at, so I gotta give it a little mini whistle. You know what I'm saying? But listen, y'all.
I got you in check, dog. I just want you to know that. That's a good thing. That's what girls do.
This is true. This is true. So look, y'all, how this thing works, man, especially in the situations that Coach Dave is talking about. When you grow up in them environments, right? My bad, I'm just trying to my little stuff. Can't do on the outside. Make sure there we go. I got my whistle now. But when you grow up in those type of areas, saying you got next or you got down or next down is so important. Listen, y'all. Shout out to my jailhouse niggas and all of that type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of one of them things, like if one person, when you get locked up, like punk the hell out of you, like everybody else just see you as fair game. That's kind of how it is in basketball with next. If you out there and a nigga know he can just take your next, and you from a place like that where like basketball is that thing, oh nigga, you better leave you Willie Lump about this.
No, it can translate to other forms of life. And then it just escalates. And I can remember it is one time, man, it was my coach, right? He took my necks and was like, nah, don't play, right? Because he playing and all the guys, and I said something very disrespectful to him, and we ended up. He ain't told me not to say it again. And, I said it again. And we ended up fighting and stuff. But taking my necks wasn't worth fighting, even though, like, I felt like it was a draw, which was a win for me. But I knew it wasn't worth taking my necks again.
Hey, hold on, you coach. Hey, you coach.
Dude, that's how it was. Your coach was just a dude hanging out. And dude, I swear to you,
Yo,
these guys knew basketball.
I like him. Whoever that coach is, I don't know your name.
His
I like
name
you.
was Midnight. That was his basketball day.
You my guy.
You
my guy. That's funny. That sounds like something I would have done to my kids. Oh, that's funny. I like that. I like this dude, man. I like this dude. Yep. So go ahead, coach. Go ahead.
No, so when you think about it, right, it's like, it can be very easy to just back down. Here I am. This guy probably like 8, 9, 10 years older than me.
Yeah.
And he taking it, and everybody else is going along with it. And I'm like, nah, this ain't happening. It's easy for me to just let that. It would have been easy to say, okay, I can't win this one.
Yeah, but
or
you ain't do that.
You could say, nah, you ain't taking nothing from me.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna step back. I'm not gonna back down.
That's another 4 for coach.
Yeah. And you know, and so to me, in a basketball sense, right, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter who you're playing. It doesn't matter what uniforms, what sneakers they got. We will not back down. And so you might have a player who is unsure about that, but he's gonna feel more confident if we there with him, right? And so sometimes for them and to show them, yeah, nah, you can do this, I do it. Right? I'm going to talk in a way that speaks to that aggression that they're going to need on the court. And to be honest, I feel like the kids responded.
I feel like, me personally, just to interject for a second, I feel like you're a genius with that type of stuff, right? Like, I've seen it. Like, I've seen some really mild-mannered kids, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And this particular kid, I don't ever want this to even come off as like soft. I don't want y'all to come. I'm just talking about even as far as speaking of whatever. But we had a kid named Zion. Listen, y'all.
Zion has some animal in him, man.
Listen, y'all. When you speak to the kid, you won't see it. But somehow when Coach Dave get the barking at him, but the way he barked at Zion was a little different. But when he still barked on him, this kid can still respond better than other people barking at him. I don't know how Coach Dave did it, but whatever he said, Zion was ready to run through a brick wall, pick the bricks up, and build a whole nother wall with the bricks he just broke the fuck down. Do y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy
Zion.
I can't remember the name of the school that you go to right now, so forgive me. And I know you on your football wave, but wherever you at, little big homie, I still love you, and we out here. You hear me? Yeah. Hey, shout out to you for that, Coach Dave. Now, as it pertains to Georgia Excel, what would you say is your biggest heartache, and what was your biggest achievement while you were during your tenure with them? Yeah. 2 points for me. My first 2 points. I start late, but it's cool as long as I finish strong.
Why you get 2 points?
That was a good question. I gave myself 2 points.
Oh, okay. All right, okay.
Yeah, that was a good question.
Heartache. I think the biggest heartache would be when a kid is not as successful as you want them to be and they want to be. Right? or they don't get that success, and it impacts not and sometimes it hurts the parents too. So you want kids to grow and develop, and they all grow and develop at different times, and so that's what hurts me as a coach, because I want it for them. You know, losses where I really wanted them to have it, right? Especially in the end of the years. I mean, whether you lose in the championship or not, I know I push and I try to make them give me everything, and by doing so, they have an opportunity. But I want them to have it. I want them to win. So those are some of the things that kind of hurt. And while those things are more sharper in feeling, there's a lot more situations where kids have gotten better, grown, and just grown as people.
Mm.
Whether it was guys who, whether they stopped playing, they continued playing basketball, they played football. Just a lot of great athletes who I was able to get to play basketball, and a lot of good families too. But some of these kids, they needed to be in the gym, right? What are they going to do with those extra hours during the day? What are they going to fill their time with on the weekend and stuff? So, and the kids that I've worked with outside of basketball, right? In I guess painful type situations where you can help them, and help try to, at the end of the day, just become the best you and a productive citizen where you can be on the path to taking care of yourself and your family, and so that's the biggest thing to me. It wouldn't be a individual game or winning or any that type of stuff. It would just be seeing kids get better, still having relationships with them, even though I don't coach them currently, because to me it's more than basketball, right? I don't, I always say I don't put my hand in the huddle and say stuff that's not real.
The audio a little jacked up. Click back in.
Your audio or mine?
Sound like you was just some good science. Definitely don't want that stuff. So try to get them back in here, make sure that everything's clear. Everybody can have a good understanding what anything says. Yes. But most of us can pretty. Hold up. Okay, so let's see how that. See, so we're gonna wait for the jump back. And it's just this moment to go ahead and let everybody know my freezing. If y'all can clear up, we're gonna take this one to go ahead and like, share, comments, right? Word of mouth is still one of the best forms of communication and marketing and promotion and stuff. So please sleep out here. Make sure y'all tell somebody name, get some when it's good knowledge and stuff. So y'all know dismiss. don't know. You know, I'm sure that was people. All right. Dang, I'm like, think that. All right. Hey, somebody, I feel like Oh, we are still up. Oh, snap. Hold up. Hey, y'all, please pardon me. My phone went dead and everything. I didn't even know this thing was still going to be up, but shout out to the fact that it is still. So now we're just about to get Coach Dave, and we about to turn this shit back up. Hold up. Hold up, y'all. Dang, I already gave my other. All right, yeah, let me fix my light. Dang, all this. I already gave my plug and stuff right last time. Like, subscribe, share. I wish I had my little speaker. I'll play some music in between. I need to make sure I keep my little speaker on deck. My bad, y'all. It wasn't him. It was me. My bad. Hold up. What? Why they ain't let me? What? There we go. Dang. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, man. We all good now, y'all. It's all good. It's all good. We ain't gonna let nothing stop this level of building. You see what I'm saying? Minor technical difficulties. But we here. Still. Mother freakers. Yeah. Now, what was you saying? Unfortunately, with the technology, you were kind of getting a little muffled and stuff like that. I know we were kind of on the kids' highlights and disappointments and stuff like that. So if you can remember, you pick up where you left off.
Well, I guess the overall, I'm not sure where I left off, but it's just, the highlights are, seeing kids grow and being able to just be more than just basketball, life. And, the hard times it's just seeing a kid not grow as fast as you'd like them, or just have some setbacks in life. Maybe it's unrelated and you can't help. Or you might have seen signs and tried to get the kid some help, but ultimately wasn't able to, whatever the goal was, accomplish it by making sure the kid doesn't get in any extra trouble or stuff like that.
That's dope, man. Right, it's a lot of people that if you would have asked them that question, that would have been surrounded around literally a particular achievement. And here it is that you're saying your overall concern is about just the development of the kid, whether it's on this level or this level. It's all about bringing them to a better level than they were previously, and that you're more so disappointed if they're not able to even achieve that. I think that that's some dope shit, and it shows a lot about your character and who you are as a person.
Well, and for me, basketball was an outlet, and when I lost my mom, I had nothing, and that way I felt, and I ended up losing basketball. But basketball is what kept me after school, right, in the school, which kept me, hours at a time. And basketball is what made other people have interest in investing their time in me, right? I wish there were other things, but basketball is what got me through. And, the countless people who invested in me, ultimately in my worst moments, that was part of the stuff that helped me get out of it. And so I view, I grew up in a place called Millbank, Children's Aid Society, and just going there, and they always had something for you to do, and just these people who were giving their time and helping educate you and how to act and stuff, just helping you grow up and keeping you safe. You know, and when I say safe, I mean alive, right? Were there fights and stuff like that? Yeah, plenty of that. But from the worst things that could happen, I was safe from it. And so my thing is, I know I've been helped a lot, and I believe we need to pay it back. And to me, and it's selfish. I feel good helping them, right? Because it makes me feel better about myself and what I'm doing.
Yeah. Don't miss that, y'all. Listen, man, when it's a reason, cause and effect, it's a reason that this man gets the reciprocity that he gets from these kids, from these parents, from these organizations, from these different people and connections that he's allowed to grow and build with. So shout out to him for being that. And again, I like interviews like this to where you can see it, you can hear it, right? I know the nigga. I know him. But even still hearing it, knowing I was even up under the wing for a little minute, like, to know that years later, nothing changes, just a different day on the calendar. But the method to the madness is still the same. The purpose, what it is that drives him is still the same. The gift that keep on giving, and as y'all just mentioned, the part with losing his mom and him feeling like basketball is what kept him grounded. That's what sports does for a lot of people. Whether y'all want to say it's just chasing some stupid ball, it's just running down some stupid field, just hitting some, however you want to minimize that thing, it saves people. It teaches people how to deal with other people, because you got to deal with, in a basketball sense, you got to deal with, if you're dealing with a real team, more than 8 people, you got to deal with 10, 12 to 15 people at once. All different makeups, backgrounds, favorite cousins, dope game, street game. No telling where the hell you from. There's no telling what these 15 young kids are going to come to you with. And a lot of times, I'm going to go ahead and say, these kids look at coach, and y'all can see it from people like him. Some of these kids that don't have that extra thing they need, he is that. He is that. Remember what I just said earlier about kids running through a brick wall? If you've had no tutelage or no guidance that has gotten you to a level that you wanted to be at, and you randomly meet someone who within 6 months to a year takes you to a level that you couldn't even see yourself in a year ago, hell yeah, you're going to run through a wall for him. And it's bigger than that. You look at that man as a savior in a sense. I don't want to get too, but like where I was in my mind, I couldn't fathom this thought. And you brought that thought, or at least that dream, to fruition. Yo.
Dude, one of the things I remember vividly was I had a mom call me, right? And she said, thank you, and it was random. I didn't know why and stuff. And her son wasn't like a star or whatever, right? If I recall, he played a little or whatever, but she said, you said something to him, and he was so excited and motivated, like, because I told him he was smart, and he, that he could be a coach, and it was something along those lines. And I say you never know what you could say, right? And it cuts both ways, right? Because I know, in all fairness, there have been times I had to make sure, hey, I hope you understand what I'm saying here, right? And I don't want you to take it the other way.
Hold that thought, y'all. Good one.
But you never know what that kid that might take that kid from doubting himself to believing himself. And ultimately, especially at this young age, parents are paying for confidence. And they want to have enjoyment in the stands themselves. But man, if you can make little Johnny more confident than he was, man, that's priceless.
Parents, just in case one of y'all had, parents are paying for confidence. Now
And it shows in other parts of their life, right? And so, I would always tell, like with Dave, when he first started playing basketball, he sucked. And this is
shout out to my boy Lil Dave, man.
Right? No, I mean he was on some bad teams. They lost all the time, right? And it sucks as a parent. You go into the game, you're always losing, right? You got to bring snack for these little guys, right? I'm like, why do they need snack? They didn't do nothing. Like snack is way overrated, yo.
Snack number one. Coach Dave like, nah.
Like I forgot what age. I mean, people was mad at me. I banned snack. I'm like, no, don't bring snack. Right? And then as they got on, parents start getting together, talking about who gonna bring it. And then they would try to ask me, and I'm like, dude, don't bring me involved in that. But, he would lose, and he wouldn't really know if they lost. Right? And he'd be like, Daddy, did we win? And I'm like, yeah, we won. Right? And I forgot what age he got to. Right? And he was like, wait a minute, we didn't win. And he's looking at the score. And my whole purpose was, man, I want you to think you're a winner. And it was just like, even like something as pressure, right? Pressure doesn't really exist, in my opinion. It's not something that you can give me, right? I'm in control of that. And it's all based on how I think, right? And while some people may fold in other situations, others don't. And it's how you process it and handle it in the moment. And however I got it, and I wouldn't want to recreate lots of parts of my upbringing and just the pressure situations you're in, but not knowing what's on the menu for the day and trying to fill that whole day, that's tough.
Yeah.
And just being in other situations where, man, when if your cable cut off, and you ain't got nothing to watch, what's that kid gonna do? Right? There was like 12 other channels. If you didn't have cable, you had 12 channels, and 4 or 5 of those channels were snow. Right? And so what are those kids
being static for the kids that just
like these folks are, I mean, you hear people arguing. I mean, I just hate politics sometimes. I mean, like I know what it's like to shoot in the summertime. If I can't go to this school and get a breakfast, like I walk to go get it. Like at the time, I didn't think about it. I think back, I can remember walking damn near a mile to go get some cookie cutter breakfast.
Does stuff like that still exist in New York?
I don't know, I ain't there, but I'm sure they have breakfasts. I mean, it would be like, I guess for kids who go to summer school and stuff, but you could still, I don't know how we did it, but we did it. I mean, we went and got that breakfast. So, and I mean, when I was 14, I got a job every summer. I played ball. I had to work, and I worked 35, 40 hours, right? Because otherwise, how will I survive? Right? And I didn't get the but do I want my kids doing that? I want them to get the lessons, but really no.
Mm.
You know, so I think it's different, and part of me, when you deal with a lot of kids and you hear these comments or people talk about the kids today, I'm not in that camp because I'm working with these people. These are my people, right? These are the folks we are educating, and it ain't the kids today; it's the parents today, and the environment which was created either by our parents and us that we're developing these kids into, right? Everybody complain about the kids being on the phone. Everybody gave their kid a phone. I had no phone. Now there wasn't no phone to have, but
I need a quick 30. Coach, because you just said three things. You just said three things now, and I got it in my notes, and now I just gotta ask the question, right?
okay.
As it pertains to the parents and AU/EYBL/USBA/ I think I'm missing one other one.
Just basketball.
Can't think of it right now, but that's not the point. So, as we watch, the fellow ESPN, we'll see our commentators, the Shaqs and the Charles, and they'll say, maybe not so much, right? But maybe the Charles is more so allude to how they hate AAU and how it's just a big showcase and kids don't learn fundamentals within the game. How do you feel about that? And what is it like dealing with the parents in AAU? No particular, but what is it like in general dealing with the parents of AAU as opposed to what you can see with parents dealing with like high school or different realms of basketball?
Well, high school, I don't really have to deal with the parents as much, right? The high school coach deals with that, but I think there's more of a line there, right? But I don't think they get as much contact and interaction as you would in let's call it travel ball. I mean, I think the parents look. I think they're a lot of times, man, they're in tough situations, right? Some of them don't know a damn thing about basketball, right? And they're trying to do the best they can for their kid, and it's emotional. They're attached, and they see the best their kid could do, and they expect it. And if it's not coming out, they're gonna do whatever they can, and they're gonna squeeze whatever thing they can. And sometimes that's you, coach, right? To get you to do something. And I've always tried to keep my integrity, and I ain't want to be manipulated by anyone, not even a little bit. Now, I will say you have good and bad, so you got to take it all, right? But a lot of times it's parents and leadership, right, who allow kids to do certain things or who create an environment for a kid to fail. And what I mean by that is, hey, maybe your kid needs to be practicing now, right? And that's on you. And the excuses your kid has for not succeeding or not accomplishing, tasks, if they're acceptable to you, I mean, to the parent, right? It's hard for the coach to not allow them to do those things, right? Without cutting them or something like that. And ultimately, it's tough cutting it. Like I don't know. I don't think I've cut many kids. Right? I've always just said, hey, shoot, I'm gonna create another team. Now, if you don't want to play on the other team, then great. It's hard for me to call somebody and say, hey, you didn't make it. So and the parents, look, I think coaches in this environment, it's a lot. Especially these parents who are involved. I grew up with no parents. You took yourself to the game, you played, right? There was no parents. So
Dad wasn't there.
Like no one was there though. Like I don't remember moms and dads at the games.
Right.
You got the dude, you got the community.
My mom too many of mine either. So shout
and
out
you might have people at games, but it's more the community. Right? And your mom doesn't sign you up to play someplace. You make a team.
She don't even know you was trying out or none of that. You just get, Mom, I made the team. That's a fact.
You know, so
what team?
I think coaches tend to they talk, you know, coaches and parents sometimes talk past each other. Right? Parents are asking for one, they handed you a check saying they saying they want something. Right? Well, they're not saying it. They handed you a check expecting one thing. The coach is taking the check and not understanding what the parent's looking for. Right? And sometimes parents are paying for playing time. And you signing them up to be a part of something. Right? And I think if you clear up front, if you have your standards, then, you know, it's cool. But I think, you know, a parent's not wrong because they want the kid to play. You just got to find a situation where your kid can do it. And I wish I knew 6-7 years ago what I know now. But sometimes you got to go through those situations. But ultimately, what I know now is more confirmation of what I knew. You know,
Yo.
Don't steal that. Don't steal that.
Whose man's is this? Yo, somebody get him. See, now I want to play. Can I get a jersey? Fuck, yo.
Nah, this is time to coach. You can't play with time to coach.
I got 2 torn Achilles and 2 ACLs out there, y'all. Y'all know I can't play nothing for the people that have been following me. Y'all know I can't play a goddamn thing. I'm trying to watch my bad, y'all. I can't play nothing no more. You hear me? Yeah, my playing days is all done. I'm damn near scared to jump about 2 feet in the air. I don't want trouble, y'all. I'm just talking. Now, I started to ask you another question, but you actually just answered that question within it, because I was going to say, do you think that the fact that parents, AAU is more, you know, people as they hear to, and, you know, as we both know, as it comes to travel and stuff like that, the money comes in, and that's why a lot of those parents feel like they have a little more say, so to speak, right? Like they feel like I'm cutting this or I'm doing this, so my child need to whatever. So no need for that question because you already answered it. So we're not going to double back to kind of highlight that real quick. I missed that because that was going to be one of my questions. But that seems to be one of the bigger clear-cut differences to me as it pertains to high school AAU. Not saying that boosters do not exist in high school. I'm not saying that. I am not saying that you are not going to have some random dad, mom, cousin, uncle, whatever on the sideline in a high school game cutting a fool. Not saying that. But I am saying when you got people who have paid XYZ amount of money for this uniform, XYZ amount of money to go on this flight to such and such that they didn't have the money for, XYZ amount of money for this charter, XYZ, and their kids is losing and they still got to kick out money the next week. Yeah, that may draw.
But you're saying they're doing it for the wrong reasons. That's ultimately all I heard was they doing it for the wrong reasons. Right? And again, we're talking past each other. Right? You handed that check saying this is what I want. And I'm saying, yeah, man, this is gonna help us out. Right? And because then you paying to disadvantage another kid. And they got parents too, whether they got the money or not. And that ain't cool. And I gotta look the kid in the face. You know, and so yeah, no, man.
That hey man, I'm just trying to throw a few alley-oops for my big homie to catch you, you know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and windmill that thing real quick. Shout out to Bronny. I seen your head getting on that rim. Shout out to Bronny. Coach probably surprised that I even said that because he knows, you know, the situation with the James family and stuff like that. But it's nothing personal. Just business. No, damn. Maybe that's wrong. Because about the business is all good business. So, damn, maybe it is personal. All right, follow me. My bad, y'all. My bad. I caught myself though. Y'all saw that? That's me. Now, Coach, here's my next question. I got 2 more for you for today, because I'm sure you're gonna be back, right? One of my questions, is favorite for me. I don't think we got to it last time. But me being the young 80s baby, though I made it at the end, it don't matter. I made it. 1989. You see what I'm saying? Now, during the 90s, there was a very popular group clique sporting unit called N1. One of my favorite people, part of N1, was a guy by the name of Ali Mo, aka Black Widow. And I remember there was a volume, I think it was N1 volume 5, N1 volume 6, maybe volume 6. Y'all can double check, go Google it, whatever. I think it's volume 5, volume 6. And it was more so him, and he's showing how he grew up in Harlem. I remember that time we was in Charlotte, North Carolina. Shout out to the Georgia Excel team. Placed 2nd in the nation. I'm very proud of you guys. Still to this day. 8th grade team, 7th grade team. All the pipsqueaks who are now no longer pipsqueaks. I love all. The only time we were riding, you end up telling me a little bit of a story about you personally knowing Ali Mo. Do you mind talking about that or sharing that? I want the world, like, I'm thinking about that shit. What was it like growing up with somebody like that? Just talk to me about Ali Mo for a minute.
So, I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily I grew up with him. We grew up in the same sort of area. We would always cross paths, especially on the court. And he had a name, right? And everything went around word of mouth. And the dude was like 6'6", 100 pounds, can do anything he wanted to with the basketball. And he could embarrass you. And again, it was about reputation and stuff. And Al could do a bunch of stuff with the ball. So he was like sort of like a legend. So when you play against him, there's got to be some rules in your head. All right, I'm not letting this happen and this happen. Right? I ain't spinning around. None of that.
Yeah.
If you throw it through my legs, dog, you ain't getting to the other side. You get it. So let's not do that move. Right? But the dude can do it all. Right? Yeah. He's one of the guys you think about, that could have made it. And unfortunately his life, he expired, just too early, because I felt like when I said he could have made it, I mean, he could have made it to the league. But as I was looking at him from afar, I felt like he was making it. I don't know, I can't really get into what happened, but, I was proud to see growth from the outside. Because the hood and just the environment you grow in, man, it is not a recipe to grow things. Right? It's tough. Right? Now, again, that pressure does produce diamonds, but it also produces a bunch of just regular rocks. And so he had a special gift. And if you just think about it, right, that's the scary thing. Somebody with that special gift, and that was just that unique. I mean, ultimately, he's not with us today, and that's tough, right? And that's what you want to see your kids. The kids I'm doing now. I want to see them make it. I want to be old and those, and know them. I want to know their kids.
All right. That's dope. That's dope.
But Al was a monster, especially in the street game. running fulls, I mean, ain't no calls. He get to do what he want. And then if you're playing in, again, when you got a crowd and, you know, he could just do stuff that you don't want done to you. It was like him, you know, you got guys like Sham God. Like, you don't want to be crossed over. You don't want to be made to look a fool. And so you have to have pride.
Have you ever got crossed up at the Rucker?
Excuse me?
Have you ever got crossed up?
Hey, what you asking? Hell no, I ain't never got crossed up, right? Listen, if you cross me, you cross. You don't cross me up, right? You might have got your crossover on and kept going, right? That's why God gave us 5 fouls. So,
and that's one. Yeah, right there. Yep, that's one. Because I smell bullshit. That's one.
See, this is the thing you don't realize, right? It's sort of a survival tactic, right? And it's
what?
It's a survival tactic, right? So that I didn't have to fight. Well, listen, hear me out, right? If this dude embarrassed me, everybody gonna keep messing with me about it, and eventually the fight gonna happen. So if I don't let him, I'm saving that. We're not fighting. I'm not embarrassed. I feel better about myself, right? And so, look, I take something away, right? I force him to do, but we ain't gonna have no long dancing party. Nah, dog. Is you going or not? Or shoot this jumper. But if you try to throw that through my leg, I'm hitting you. We're gonna take it out on the side, and then we might switch off, or don't do that again because that hit wasn't worth what you got.
Coach say he waiting to see the referee blow take the ball out of the hash. Hey, this dude is funny.
Well, see, I couldn't do all that stuff.
This dude's funny.
So because I couldn't do it, like, I'm not gonna play handicap. I can't do it, so nobody could do it. Don't do that near me.
Yeah.
But I was a defensive first guy, right? And that fit my mentality.
It's all coming out, Coach. The first episode we had, I'm so glad we did more than one episode. Y'all get to see me and him clown a little episode. And y'all remember that first episode? He swore. Well, he didn't quite swear. I'm just throwing that word out there. But he said that he's never fouled out of a game.
Oh, I didn't say I fouled out. I said I used my fouls.
Believe it.
No, so I don't listen. And dude, I really didn't. I wasn't fouling out. I was really good at, man. Those who know me and know how I play, dude. I play defense more than anything.
Foul, you would just get like one intentional foul per game. Is that what it was?
Well, are we in practice or a game? Because in a practice, I'm whooping your ass. Right? You ain't. Look, I never forget, man. My boy AG, right? He was talking about, dude was Mr. Basketball, right? And he was talking about how he would go out and dominate the game. And I'm like, you ain't never do that in practice. And he said, yeah, because you kept fouling me, which is true. I wasn't going to let him. And at the time, I remember saying, yeah, he ain't really doing nothing. But in the game, he was a completely different animal.
Listen, man, you was the dude that people didn't practice against because you're going to start playing in practice just because you don't.
Well, if you're saying I'm the dude that people don't want to compete against, then that's a compliment. Thank you.
Look, listen, don't ever get to an argument in New York, y'all. Listen, me and him have this argument all the time, and I barely win the argument, and then I kind of jump in the argument and tell him, you just can't win arguments with New York niggas. Y'all see him.
But you ain't. But listen, man. Life is about growth and learning, man. And I keep arguing with you about the same thing, and you ain't learning. Like, what you want me to say?
Not that far. Let's go point blank. He got me. Hey, man, I got one last question for you. notes. One last question for you on this good note. You said something earlier about, if you were younger, you knew what you knew now. Oh, shoot. Say, what's up? Tell them what's up.
You got full control over there, girl.
What's up? You showing some bad.
How many teams you got there?
Some bad. How you got about a good 8. You got about a good some bad. You gonna do it? All right, she ain't doing it. I hate when kids do that, y'all. Like, they be doing this thing all the time. I just posted a picture on my Instagram in the face, and now the black mama a little bad thing.
Nah, man, because they like, yo, don't play with me like that. I do it when I want to do it.
So look, here's my last question for you, right? If you tell 18-year-old David Thomas anything, basketball related, life related, daddy related, whatever, what would you tell 18-year-old David Thomas? Quit touching stuff. Stop it. My bad, y'all. My bad. That's 2 good questions for tonight. That's only twice I got.
There's a way out.
You would tell 18-year-old you there's a way out.
Right? I didn't know. I'm out here trailblazing in the dark. And you just, again, man, I grew up having, especially in the basketball game and stuff, I had to make a lot of decisions myself. And some good, some bad. But I guess the good decisions I love and the bad decisions I learn from. So, but ultimately, I think knowing that there's a light on the other end of the tunnel, it gives you more motivation, right? It keeps you focused more, right? Hope. That's basically it. And even at that time, I would say, I still had hope, but there were definitely times where, y'all saying do all of this, but what does that lead to? It leads to what I see around me, and so just confirmation that somebody who looks like me can do it.
Something that simple. Sometimes I guess a lot isn't even what's required. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes all it takes is a little bit. The thought of just knowing there is a way. And, to some people that may sound like a foreign language of what he said, like, oh, that sounds so simple. But for the ones who come from shit like that, it's something that's simple that can open up so much more shit.
Hey, but before I end, man, my cousin was annoyed because I didn't give him his flowers with basketball. He said he took my bat from me and ruined my baseball career. And he showed me how to dribble, he said. Which is, might be true. I don't remember.
Yeah, y'all seen the interview. Y'all get on it. You stop it. Y'all get on his head and let him know who we need to shout out. Keep going, coach.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, no, again, that's why I didn't try to really do it at all, because I don't want to forget anyone. I mean, it's intended for everybody. But, I told him that I would correct that for him. Because when I went up to New York recently, that was one of the bones he had to pick with me, which I was shocked. But good. He was good. So yeah, he ruined my baseball career because I probably could have been really good at baseball. God, really quick hands, good hand-eye coordination. You know, you just never know.
On his ass, y'all. I don't. What would you been like, Big Poppy? You'd been Big Poppy out there. You what?
First off, hey dog, how the heck? All right, see, this is just showing you.
You're not playing center.
No, you give yourself two. You just said, I'm sitting here with this damn Yankee hat on, and you talking about Big Poppy. What the hell is that?
Oh, Boston. Oh, my bad.
That's a foul. That's a foul ball. That's a basketball. That's a foul in many different sports.
My bad. That's a fact. Dang.
When I was growing up, it was Dave Winfield.
Dang.
Okay? One for the namesake, but, you know, he played for the Yankees, right? And then there was a guy by the name of Frank Thomas. Again, the name, but he was a big dude that could hit. And again, man, it was good. I was street good, but I never got to continue it because I would think that, dude, I ain't gonna sit here and just be mediocre and have people, you know, succeed over me and just take it. So I would have worked harder at it. But, you know, you lose your glove, you don't have a bat, your career over. You know, you don't have a bunch of money to get more.
Well, I guess shout out and just on the defense of Coach or whatever like that. A part of me must be biased and believe him. So I guess it's messed up. Y'all shattered his hardball dreams and stuff like that. But I am thank you for pushing him in the direction of scientist as far as basketball. I will say that. Easy enough.
Well, look, if I know I'm right, I'm just listening to you be wrong. You got to understand how I feel listening to you be wrong. You know, I feel bad for you. It's not you, it's you.
Listen, y'all, this has been a great episode. This is what he does, man. I've been your host, King Premium, a.k.a. King Prem, man. He is I and I is he, man. Today's mathematics is knowledge, being born to build and destroy. He's trying to destroy my mental, y'all, but I'm going to let him do it. I'm strong all up and through here.
Where the whistle at? I should have brought my... Next time, I'm coming with my coach's whistle. All right? I'm going to text back.
Hey, man. Well, we've been here. Another good one, man. I'm going to let y'all hear unless I got some other little random shit to say. And he be Coach Dave. It's been another day. Thank y'all for tapping in with us. It's getting late. Y'all already see little mama runs me, and she's going to let me do whatever I want. She said time is up. So let's go ahead and be ending with this. Coach Dave, thank you for being here. Much love. Appreciate you, man. You've been a big homie to me for years and years and years. So thank you. And yeah, you go ahead and say whatever you need to say, give your plugs or whatever you need to on the outro.
Nah, man, I just feel on that service, man. God bless you. Thank you. God bless you. And good night.
All right, y'all. Peace.